everybody, and welcome to part 4 of the Halloween color along. I'm super excited because this is our second last part, so we are going to be doing the background. And I'm a little bit nervous for this because a lot of the times the background can make or break an image, but for the most part we're going to be using grays, except for these little bits here, and we'll pretty much be sticking to colors that we have already used in this video so far. And keep in mind that since we're going to be switching a lot of colors fairly quickly, I'm not going to be using my cards, so you guys will have to actually listen for the colors. I apologize if you guys are used to, you know, having the volume down and listening to your own music or something while we do this. You're not going to be able to do that if you want to use the same colors that I'm using, but it'll just make it so the video goes a little bit faster and it's a lot easier for me because I don't have those cards taking up space or having to remember to switch them constantly. I'm also going to be working out of my pencil case rather than having my pencils already ready. So I want some of these to be with the same colors as her face. So I'm going to grab out the dioxazine purple hue. I think the dahlia purple. Lavender. And processed red, I think. And we'll start off with those colors. I also apologize if my hands kind of look funny, like in the way that I hold them, because I just painted my nails and I don't want to dent them, so I'm trying to be really careful. So let's start with pieces like this. So for the most part I'm going to try to follow what we did with her face, but I am going to add a few different colors. Like I want to add in the navy blue from the little candle bowl, and then I also want to add a little bit of orange in around here, just so I feel like I do like this. I'm still a little on the fence about it, but I think I like it. I think I'll like it a little bit more if there's a little bit more orange in the image. So I'll definitely be putting some orange parts in around where we can. So I'm going to start with here, and I'm just going to take the dioxazine purple hue, and I'm just going to start firm in at the end here, and then I'm going to fade it out. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this little one here. And then let's outline these hearts. So I'm just doing a firm outline just around on the inside of that line, and then I'll fade it in. And then I'm going to do the same with these ones. Let's see, I'm going to do the same thing with this little diamond here as well. Okay, and then I'm going to switch to the dark purple, and I'm going to use a firm pressure. I'm going to just just layer it over and blend it into the dioxazine purple. And bring it out a little bit and then gradually fade it out. I'm going to go just over the purple in these little hearts, but I'm not really going to bring the dark purple out any further than we did the dioxazine purple hue. I'm going to leave this little diamond. I'm not going to add any dark purple to that. Now the reason I'm using a fairly firm pressure is because I don't really want to do much blending on this. I want them to just kind of be solid colors that just kind of fade into each other. I'm not really too worried about blending. Okay, next let's switch to Process Red. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, except I'm going to color all the way to the end. And I'm going to color in these hearts too, I think. For the hearts, I'm pretty much going to go over everything, but for these little swirly things here, I'm just going to go into where we faded out the dark purple. And this one's a little bit longer, so I'm actually going to fade it out right about here. And the rest of that will be the lavender, I think. Just to make sure you guys can see. My desk is a little cluttered. So now let's switch to our lavender. And I'm just going to put some in just over the Process Red a little bit, and I'm also going to go over this little diamond here. So another thing I've kind of been debating is this little area right here. A lot of people have colored that in, and I feel like it does need to be colored in. I'm just not sure of a color. I was actually thinking about using the same colors as for her hair, because I don't want to use orange to color this in. I just want orange accents, because that's going to be too much orange on this side of the page. But I feel like if we did her hair, like the same color as her hair, most of her hair is on this side of the page, so maybe it would even it out a little bit. I am very hesitant. It only takes one bad choice to ruin a picture. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so next we'll work on these little ruffles here. So I'm going to grab the Dahlia purple. Oh, sorry, everywhere I said dark purple, this is actually Dahlia purple. So I'm going to grab the Dahlia purple, and I'm just going to go in along these little frill shapes here and then fade them out a little bit. And same with here. And here. And we're just going to keep going in around the similar shapes, and we're going to do the same things to them. Okay, and then we're going to switch to the lavender. just going to blend that into the Dahlia purple. Okay, after that I'm going to go back in with the dioxazine purple hue, and I'm just going to put a little tiny bit just on the inside of these little frills. Just enough that you can just see it, but it's not overpowering. Oops. Went a little farther more than I wanted to on that one. Okay, so looking at this now, I think our navy blue and our orange little accents here, for the most part they're going to be underneath here. We'll just rotate between the navy blue and the orange. Here, the inside of this heart, and that's going to be about it. Other than that, I think what I want to do here, it's just on the corner of every one of these little, I don't know what to call them, mostly half circles, although they're less than a half. So I'm just going to darken up where they come in, and then they're going to lighten up as they get to the top, and then darken up as they go in again, just like we did here. And on these smaller ones, just enough so you can see it. You don't even have to be completely faded out perfectly. As long as you just can tell that it's a little bit darker in that area, that's all that really matters. Hopefully I'm zoomed in enough that you guys can see what I'm doing easily. I didn't want to zoom in too much because we all know that I space out and then I forget to move the page around. So with that done, I'm going to go back in with the Dahlia purple and I'm just going to fill it in. And I'm going to go over the whole thing, including the dioxazine purple hue. I don't think I went over this with my dioxazine purple hue. So just in the very tiny bit above this line. There we go. So I think we're done with those colors for now. So let's grab our blue. So I'm going to grab Indian Throne Blue and the Copenhagen Blue that we used last time. And I forgot to block in those colors, so I'll do that quick. And then for the orange, I think what we're going to use is, I think we'll use the same oranges that we used for this orange. We'll maybe add one of the darker ones in. So let's grab the pale vermilion. And then yellowed orange and Spanish orange. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the blues. So, I'm going to start off with the Indian Throne Blue. And I'm going to do the triangles in that. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm just going to put a little bit of this blue just in on the other side of the line of this little thing here, and then just fade it out. I'm going to do that for over here too. And then for this heart, I don't know if I want more blue or more orange. I think I'm going to go for more blue. So I'm going to just put a little bit on the other side of each of these lines here. And then on the inside as well. I'm just going to outline the heart. Yeah, let's do it on the outside. Let's just fully outline this whole shape. Part of the reason that I chose the blue over the orange for the main color of this heart is, for one, because I want these dots to be white. So they'll stand out a little bit more against the blue, plus then it matches the bowl a little bit better, and just because we have so much of a concentrated orange spot here and just a little bit of blue, I think it'll balance it out to have more blue here and just a little bit of orange. Okay, so once we're done with that, I'm going to switch to the Copenhagen Blue, and I'm just going to fill it in. I'm going to blend into the Indian Throne Blue. Very firm pressure, but I'm not quite burnishing it yet. And then I'm going to go back in with the Indian Throne Blue and just put a little bit more color down just around the outsides so it stands out a little bit. And we'll just do the same thing for all of these blue shapes. Now, I wasn't really sure about these little designs, but I think they're coming together. Okay, so now we're done with our blues, so we're going to switch to our orange, and for this, I think we're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to take the pale vermilion, and I'm actually going to make the darkest area on the outside of these little guys. And again, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to outline the edge and then fade it in a little bit. And then for these lines, I'm just going to kind of outline them on either side of the heart. And I'll leave it as that. And I'm not really sure if we have room for both of these oranges, so I'm actually going to take out the yellowed orange. I'm not going to use that, which you guys will already know because you'll have seen the beginning. And I'm going to take the Spanish orange and I'm going to blend into the pale vermilion. Just like that. There we go. Okay, I think I really like that. I think that definitely helped it look a little bit more even. I'm not on the fence about this anymore. I like how that turned out. So for the most part, we're just going to switch to the main part of the background now, which is pretty much the solid color. And, oh, no, sorry. We're going to do this part first. And we're going to use the colors of her hair. So that was Parrot Green, Aquamarine, Light Aqua, and Light Green. So I'll go ahead and grab those out. Light Green, Aquamarine. Is it Parrot Green? Yes. Which is this one. And what am I missing? Light Aqua. There we go. Okay, so I think how I'm going to do this is I'm going to start off with the Parrot Green and I'm going to outline this shape. Only here, I'm not going to outline it where it goes behind her arm. I'm just going to outline the main shape, including these little swirly things. So I'm going to outline those too. This is going to be one of the shorter videos. Don't mind that, my little cover on my window just fell off. I cannot wait to get blinds. I'm sure the hubby can't either, because he probably hates how it looks from the outside with these little brown papers taped to my window. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so now that I've got the outline done, I'm going to just go back in around it and I'm going to fade it out.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, baby. Okay, so I'm liking that, I think. Good job, kiddo. So now I'm going to switch to the Aquamarine, and I'm actually going to go over the Parrot Green, just to kind of make it a little bit more blue and less green. So I'm not going to bring it out any, I'm just going to go over where we've already colored. Unless I feel like it needs to come out a little bit more, and then I will.
What is that?
What is what?
What is that?
I don't know. Sorry, they're not toys. Leave them alone. Okay, so after that we'll go back, or not back in, we'll go in with the light aqua, and we're just going to blend into the outline and then fade it in. And lastly, we're going to switch to the light green. And just fill everything else in. For some reason, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I do. I will edit the videos and they look perfectly fine, like color-wise, they look the exact same. But then as soon as I save it, her hair always looks blue, and it's not. It's, I don't know, it's like a tealish, more green color. You can wait, kiddo, I'll be right there. But I'm not sure why. It isn't until I save the video that the color changes. And it's only the hair. Everything else looks pretty much exactly how it's supposed to, but the hair doesn't. Okay, so I think I like that. I think it evens it out a little bit. So now for the last part of the background. And I'm going to be using the same colors that I used for her shirt. So that was black. Grays here. So black, 90% cool, 50% cool, and we used 30% cool, but I think I'm actually going to use 20% for the background. Let's be just a little bit lighter. So we'll start up at the top here, and I'm going to use the black on the outlines here. So I want it to start off darker on the borders and then fade into lighter colors around her, kind of like a vignette border. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So darker around the border and then fade it out. And actually, I don't think we're going to use the 90% gray either. I think we're going to omit that one. So I'm going to make a little curve here. I'm going to really go over this corner to black it out and then fade it out with the rest. I think I'm just going to work in one spot at a time. So we're getting rid of the 90%, so we're going to switch to the 50% now. And I'm going to go just in over this black a little bit. I'm going to bring it out a little bit and then slowly fade it out here. fade it out here. I'm going to switch back to my black, and I'm just going to fade into that 50% cool gray just a little bit. And then I'm going to switch to the 20%, and I'm just going to lightly go in on the 50% cool gray. And I think I'm actually going to add 10% cool gray as well in the very lightest parts. Ooh. I don't know if you guys can notice that little hole that just appeared there. Always remember, if you're using paper with holes like that, we're going to do this part next. And we're just going to follow pretty much the same steps until we can get a similar result. So start with the black, darker on the edge, fade it out. Switch to the 50% and blend it in there. And then also fade that out and try to keep your lines as even as you can. It's okay if they're not completely even, but it'll just kind of add to that border effect. Then we're going to switch to the 20%. Fade it out right about at this heart, I think, and then we'll switch to the 10%, and I'm actually going to grab an eraser because I went over with her hair there. So 10%, and we're just going to color that in and fade it into the previous gray. And we're going to do the same thing over again. I'm going to go back to the black. Fade that out a little bit. Back to the 50%. Alright, kiddo. Bring that out a little bit further, I think. Right about to here. And then 20%. Oh. It's one thing that I do notice with the Prismas sometimes. See, I don't really get the breakage like a lot of people do, but you guys can see that little almost purple line right there. Now, unless I touched the purple with this pencil, which I don't think I did, there's a little bit of pigment in the pencil. Almost like that scratchy stuff that you get. But anyways, we're going to switch back to the 10% and fade that into there. Just like so. So you can already tell in this smaller area that the blend is just a lot more seamless than it is in the bigger area. So that is where the blending pencil comes in. So we're just going to keep doing the exact same thing. %. I'm just going to color these in all the way. I'm going to switch back to the black. Isn't that one of the Men in Black titles is back to black. I can't remember. Okay, and then back to the 50% and blend back in there. See, in these little smaller areas, the blends are pretty much perfect. We probably wouldn't even need to go over with a blending pencil, but we will anyways because we want to make everything look the same. So next we're going to come up here and we'll tackle this corner. I'm going to put a little bit more black here because that's bothering me. These little circles, I'm not going to bother coloring around them because I'm going to come back in later with my Posca pen. If you don't have acrylic paint or a good white gel pen or a Posca pen, I would recommend trying to preserve as much white in those little dots as you can. Because even with the jelly rolls, I feel like those pens they don't bring back as much white as I personally would want. If you're okay with the amount of white they bring back, then I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it's all just personal preference. Okay, we're going to switch to 50%. And blend it into the black. Just a light to medium pressure. And I'm also doing wide circles, not that it really matters since since I'm going back in with the blending pencil. Oops. Just about gave myself a paper cut there. And then I'm going to switch to the 20%, blend it into the 50% a little bit, and then bring it out. And then I'm going to fade that out right about here. Now one thing I noticed is that our blends, well, they might be, yeah, I guess they are matching for the most part. I think it's just the unevenness of the corners that makes it look like they might not be. So this is the 10%, and I'm just going to finish coloring in the white and then blend it into the 20% a little bit. Then we'll go back to black, darken up our border, fade it out a little bit more. Holy, almost done yet. What do you think?
Yeah. Mommy.
What?
Now she's trying it.
She's what?
She's trying it.
Crying?
No, she's bad.
Oh, she's not bad. She just has a mask on. Her face is painted. She's a Day of the Dead girl.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now we're going to switch back to our 50%. Blend into the black. And then fade it out.
Wait, what is that?
That's something to play with her. What do you have on your phone? Whatever you were just in, stay out of it. Thank you. Don't touch the stuff. It's not yours, you don't touch. Out of here, please.
Okay.
When I'm done, I'll come change the TV on for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you mommy.
You're welcome, babe. He can be so sweet when he wants to be. Okay, then we'll go back in with the 20% and blend it into the 50% and fade it out. Have I said that enough yet? And then the 10%. Same thing. Okay. I'm really loving how that looks. I guess that's another eye color we could do for her. We could do gray eyes. Again, I'm leaving the eyes for the final parts, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tracing paper, and I'm thinking green or blue or gray, and we'll see how it looks. We'll pick next time on the final parts. So here's our last little bit of corner here. So I'm going to start up here. And follow the exact same steps. So I'm going to tell you the colors that I'm using, but I'm not going to repeat myself anymore because I feel like a broken record. I'm sure you guys are probably getting so good at this that you probably already know the colors I'm using. %. It makes it sound like I'm saying like this is 50% completed or something. No, that just sounds funny. %. 10%. And then we'll go back through them all one last time. %. 20%. 10%. And lastly, 10%. Crazy to think that we just used all these pencils for just that little bit of stuff. But I think she's definitely looking a lot better now. I am very fond of her, and I'm going to grab out my blender pencil. It's so cute. And clean them up. And I'm going to extend his life a little bit because he's too tiny to hold. And for this, let's see. Trying to decide if I want to blend from light to dark or dark to light. Because if you blend from dark to light, you're going to bring the darker areas in a little bit more. And if you blend from light to dark, you're going to get rid of the dark areas a little bit more. So I'm actually going to blend from dark to light, I think. Forgive the constant flipping, and I'm going to speed this up as well, because this is really just blending. I won't speed it up too fast, you'll still be able to tell how I'm blending. For the most part, I just do little circles and I work my way into areas. Okay, so this is how she's looking so far, and I have to say that I am completely in love with her, and I'm even more excited to finish her. So in the next part, we'll be finishing off her eyes, and then we'll be doing different touches, such as I think I am going to make her dress sparkly. We'll add some white highlights to the roses, and we'll make these white dots really stand out. I'll go in with the black, black pencil for now, and just any black lines that we want to really define, we'll go over and black them out. And then I am also going to hopefully, I'm going to say attempt, but hopefully it's more than an attempt and it actually works. But I will go in and I'm going to make all these black lines white, just to kind of make her hair look a little bit lighter. And I have faith that it's going to work. Other than that, we'll just add some other little highlights and she'll be finished. I hope you guys are enjoying this color along or tutorial or whatever you would like to call it. And again, if you guys are following, please be sure to use the hashtag on Instagram or Facebook so I can see your guys' images, because I would absolutely love to see how your guys' turn out, see if you changed anything, maybe changed up colors a little bit. I'd just love to see the different variations.